Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, we're gonna go over pen. So what I would like you to do is I would like you in your sketchbook on a brand new page, holding it long way, so that means it's landscape, okay? I want you to copy this. We're gonna be filling this out. This should be on a brand new page. Couple little things about this, okay? First off, this is not equal down the center, okay? It's about hand's width, okay? Just so we can get a little notes and a couple little things over here. This side, for this, there are 4 sections, okay? So what I did was I divided in half, and then I made sure there was 4 on top, 4 on bottom, okay? This is about 1/3, this is about 2/3, all right? The leaf, you don't have to get fancy, okay? All I did was I did a swoop, a loop, and a curve for each one, all right? And the fish, do the best you can, okay? After that, after you're done drawing this out, okay, what I'm gonna suggest that you do is you pause your video, okay? I also need you to get 3 or 4 different pens, okay? The pens should be different colors. Now I know most of you have black and blue, okay? But see if you can find somewhere in your house different color pens as well. They can be ballpoint pens or they can be felt tip pens, okay? Either one doesn't matter. You can even do a combination of both, okay? So go ahead and pause your video right now and copy this and get your pens. Okay, so let's put the most important note that we have right here. Ready? Pen marks are permanent. I know you want to say duh for this one, okay? That's an R, by the way, and I'm an N-T. But for a lot of people, they're going to be like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I want to do white out. No white out, okay? What you need to do is you need to work with it, okay? If you put a dot in a spot, see what else you can do. Maybe that dot was meant to be there, okay? I want you to try to really work past the mistake, okay? So, first thing we're gonna do is on this side, okay? We're actually gonna do a couple of things. We wanna do a couple of textures and designs and see what can our pen do. So texture and design not necessarily means, what we feel, okay? It's what it looks like. What is the design? So for example, here, actually I can look over here. Okay, as we can see here, there are line designs. Now this does have a feel, okay, but it also has a look to it, all right? It makes it not boring. This one has polka dots, all right, little divots. Just an added design, all right? So let's divide this. First I want to talk about, actually, you know what? For now, let's divide this into 6. I'm sure we're not going to use the whole thing, but let's do 6. First, let's talk about the lines, okay? You can have heavy lines, you can have light lines, you can have sketchy lines, okay? All different ways that you can use your pen. Let's talk about the width, okay? You can have bold lines where you make them really thick. You can have medium, or same kind of with the light. You can have very, very thin lines, okay? Next is, hold on. All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. There is a bit of a noise in the background, and believe it or not, it was from my son. So if you hear a little voice in the background at any point during this video, it's him. Okay, so let's go back to what we were talking about on different things that you could do. So we have different widths that you can create with your pens, all right? Direction. We know that we can go in all different directions. We can interrupt and change the directions, okay? We can have something called tapering. So we press really hard and we go kind of flicks it, okay? We can have just plain old design. So we have like, just a different design that we can create with this, okay? So all different things that we can do with just a pen, all right? So now let's get into the nitty-gritty and we're gonna talk about how can we shade with just a pen. All right, so top one, we are gonna write at the top, hatching. Oops, realize that my light should be a little bit over. There we are. Hatching, and underneath we're going to divide this into 4 sections, okay? Now over on here, this is going to be our value scale. We know that a value scale is something where the color is broken down into steps, okay? So hatching is going to be slanted lines, okay? And we can layer them. This makes for a dark value. As we go lighter, now something that you're probably noticing, I'm going to put it over here, is layer the color. Okay, so when we layer the color, I'm actually going over. You can kind of see how I start with one and then I go back over and I keep going until I get my value that I'm happy with, okay? Good. Perfect. All right, so let's do a couple of gradations. Now gradation, we know is that smooth effect, but this is a little different when we got hatching. So we're gonna start off nice and close, and we wanna transition it to where it's really spaced out, okay? Let's do this again. Not bad. One more time. All right, now let's put this into play. What does it look like when we actually apply it to an actual drawing? Okay. Now, I use pencil first, and then I kind of go over with pen. Now, when I draw very sketchy, okay? So you'll probably notice that it's kind of hairy, but that's how I do my designs. Layer it up. So it looks like when we can add it. Okay, next is cross hatching. These are like cousins, or I guess cousins would probably be best. So we're gonna put under here, break this down. Cross hatching is hatching, but two different directions. So we go 1, and we're gonna cross it this way, 2. The tighter the weave, the darker the color. And you'll notice that I am going back and forth because I am layering to get my darkness that I want. Beautiful. So let's do gradation for this. Nice, right? Now, I love cross-hatching. It is one that goes super fast, and if you make a wrong mark, who knows? You can't tell. Let's do it one more time. And by the way, at any point in time that you want to switch up your colors, go right ahead. Like if you're feeling like I don't want to do any more black, I want to do green, purple. Don't do yellow. I think it might be hard to see. Definitely do yellow on your project, but maybe not so much practice, okay? So let's go in. I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna do my cross hatching. Now you're probably wondering, like, why doesn't she do the whole thing? Well, I don't do the whole thing because I need some lights and darks, all right? And if I do the whole thing, it's gonna just look like one solid blob, like Mark. See, I'm gonna put some extra shading down here. Okay, kind of cool. All right, next one. This is cool. This is called random. Random is exactly what it is. It's random. And which is funny about this, but you're gonna find your random is more design and I don't know. I'll show you. Okay, so random is basically scribbles. But you're gonna find that at some point you're gonna be doing certain scribbles over and over, and you're like, oh, it's not so random. It almost feels like I do the same wiggle. But wiggle it is, okay? More spaced out, the lighter it is, okay? So let's do some gradation. Now this one is a little bit different. This definitely, I end my marks different spaces. You can jump. It doesn't have to be one line. Sometimes it's just a whole mess of lines. There we are. So let's see if I can do this. Let's get some squiggles over there. As I picked up my pen a few times, I'm picking up a lot. All different designs. Random or scribble, there's another way that people say it. It's kind of fun because you can always add it in. If you make a mess on this one, who knows? I don't know. This one's kind of fun. You can get lost in this, I guess. All right, so let's go into here. Let's add into this one. This one is gonna get a little bit crazy. And not having so much on this one because I feel like this one kind of fills in fast. All right, beautiful, right? Right. Last one over here. We're gonna do stippling. All right, first thing I'm gonna tell you about stippling, please don't break your pen. Okay, it will be a mess if you break this tip, because if you break this tip, ink is gonna come everywhere, okay? So stippling, other words of dotting, okay? Let's divide this out. You are probably not gonna fill this all in. If you have a felt tip pen, this might go a little bit faster, okay? And because they come in different sizes. But remember, regardless if you have felt tip pen or a regular ballpoint pen, please be careful. All right, stippling, little dots. Best way to do this is stay very close to the paper, okay? And you'll be able to go a little faster. If you're going back and forth like this, it's gonna take you much longer to do. Tighter. Closer, this means darker, more spread out, lighter the color. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. Make sure I'm there. Okay, now you're not going to be able to do the same length in each one of these, which is okay, but I would suggest you do a little bit of stippling to get the gradation. Now, believe it or not, I have done a project that is twice the size of this paper, okay, in stippling. Okay, it is possible. Does it take a long time? Oh yes, it does. It definitely does. But here's the kicker. This one is easier to control than the rest of them, okay? So just so you know. Because the dots are more purposeful and they're more controlled. I feel like I might go crazy dotting them, but believe it or not, you don't. Like, oh, I need one here, I need one there, one there. See, more control. One more. Almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Very nicely done. Okay, so for this one, I am going to lightly put in my lines. Put in my stippling. For smaller spaces, it definitely works nice. Because as I said, stippling is the most controlled one. Like I can get right in here, make this kind of dark. I can really kind of do that. Very nice. Okay, so we have all different ways that we can create different values, okay? We can do it through hatching, cross-hatching, random stippling. We can do gradation, we can do solid values. One thing I'm going to suggest is instead of just having it plain one color, let's kind of use all different colors. So that's what we're going to go into here. So this is where you're going to have to bring in all your colors that you have, okay? And we're going to try one of each in each of the fish, okay? So my suggestion is I find that 2 colors work kind of nicely, okay? But 3 is really nice, okay? And you want to have contrast of colors if you can, and build, okay? Build with color. Start with your lighter colors, and then build on top of that, okay? So for example, I'm gonna make this fish green fish, but we're gonna add some other colors. So I'm gonna start with, this one is gonna be my hatching. Okay, sorry, my G's are a little bit funky. All right, so hatching. So here is my fish, okay? I kind of put in my hatching, okay? Then I'm gonna go back in and I think I'm gonna add some blue. Oops, blue pen, there we go. Now, you can see how it's visually mixing now. So what does that mean? All right, so there are these artists called Impressionists. Okay, part of Impressionism was this other movement that went in there that was called Pointillism. Okay, so Pointillism was the whole idea that you take these little dots, these little blobs, okay, and they visually mix. It's very much like how your computer is, okay, where if you zoomed in, you would see all the pixels. Same kind of deal, okay? Now this one, I'm gonna use my black to outline and add in a little bit more detail. I'm gonna put my eye here. Okay, now check that out. That's pretty cool. That we've added like 3 different colors, and I used a black pen to kind of like, almost like tie it all together, almost to create a unity with that. So we have hatching. Let's go with cross hatching. All right, so let's give, you know what? I'm kind of in the groove with these green fish, or bluish green. So I'm gonna do cross hatching. Right. I'm gonna go in, add some blue. Okay. And then I'm gonna go in and add this cute little eye. And add black to kind of like pop it out, and add some shading in. Okay. Black is a great way to add shadow, okay? So don't forget to add black means to shade. Okay? All right, so let's go on to random. Let's give this, let's give it a little bit different. Let's go with a pink. A pink fish. All right, I'm gonna get a little tighter in the design over here. Lighter. Here we are. I'll add some blue. That should make it feel almost like purple. Okay. Isn't that neat? You can even go back on top of it. Add more. Feel like that wasn't enough. All right. I'm gonna go in. I don't know, I feel like this guy needs a smile. I know, I have this whole thing about adding smiles, but for some reason, this fish just needed it. See if I can get a really thin line in the front. See if I can get a little thicker in the back. There we go, thin. And add some shading on the back. Pretty neat. Yep. Yes. Okay, the last one. Dun dun dun. The stippling. All right. So this one was random, and this one's gonna be stippling. Okay. So let's go back to the purple. Add in my pinkiness to it. I'm definitely gonna fill in here. I don't want to be too light. And then I'm gonna kind of control it back here. And by the way, if you want to do a mixture of all of these in your project, that's absolutely fine. Like I find that even though it's hatching here, you could probably do a little cross hatching in the back, all right? Absolutely fine. So I'm gonna make that look that's quite even, all right? I'm gonna use my blue to fade it. So this is what I'll be gradation. Add more blue here because the pink is all kind of like even. Now, I'll show you what it looks like if I outline this with just two. So looks okay with two, which is absolutely fine, as I said. You can even get a little funky and add in other colors like green. You can even bring into green up in here. We can even add four different colors, which is pretty cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for pen. All right. Make sure you're all finished. When you're done, upload this into step 1 in your practice, okay? And you can now continue to step 2.